The year is 1932. The world is in turmoil, grappling with the severe economic downturn known as the Great Depression. This period of economic hardship has left no corner of the globe untouched, and Australia is no exception. The Great Depression grips the world, causing widespread unemployment, poverty, and despair. People are struggling to make ends meet, and the situation is dire. In Australia, the economic crisis is compounded by another more unusual problem. Australia, a land of diverse wildlife and vast landscapes, faces an unusual enemy, the emu. These large, flightless birds native to the continent have become a significant problem for the farmers of Western Australia. Emus, numbering in the thousands, have descended upon the farmlands, causing havoc. These birds, standing over 5 feet tall and capable of running at speeds up to 30 miles per hour, are not just a nuisance. They are a formidable force. Their sheer numbers and voracious appetites make them a serious threat to the farmers' livelihoods. What ensues is a conflict unlike any other in history, the Great Emu War. This bizarre chapter in Australian history sees soldiers being called in to combat the emu invasion. The government, desperate to protect the wheat crops, decides to take drastic measures. Imagine soldiers, armed with Lewis machine guns, facing off against a mob of emus. It sounds like a scene from a comedy, but for the Australian soldiers and farmers involved, it was a serious matter. The military operation, led by Major G.P.W. Meredith of the 7th Heavy Battery of the Royal Australian Artillery, was intended to be a swift and decisive action. The soldiers, working alongside the farmers, planned their strategy carefully. They set out to reduce the emu population and protect the crops. However, the emus proved to be surprisingly resilient and elusive. The birds' speed and agility made them difficult targets, and the rough terrain of the Australian outback added to the challenge. The emus, you see, had developed a taste for wheat, and their numbers were overwhelming the farmers' ability to control them. The birds trampled and ate the crops, causing significant damage. The farmers watched in despair as their hard work was destroyed by these relentless creatures. Despite the soldiers' efforts, the emus continued to wreak havoc, leading to a prolonged and frustrating battle. The emu, standing up to 6 feet tall, is one of the most iconic birds of Australia. With their long necks and powerful legs, they cut an imposing figure in the wild. Weighing over 100 pounds, these birds are not just large but also incredibly strong. Their size and strength make them a formidable opponent for anyone who might cross their path. Although they can't fly, emus are built for speed. They can run at impressive speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, making them one of the fastest birds on land. Their powerful legs are not just for running, they can also deliver strong kicks to defend themselves. Emus are incredibly resilient creatures. Their thick feathers provide excellent protection against the harsh elements of the Australian outback. These feathers are so robust that they can even offer some protection against bullets, a testament to their durability. The feathers of an emu are not just for show. They play a crucial role in regulating the bird's temperature, keeping them cool in the scorching heat and warm during the cold nights. This adaptability is key to their survival in diverse environments. Native to Australia, emus have long been an integral part of the ecosystem. They roam the vast landscapes from arid deserts to lush forests, playing a vital role in seed dispersal and maintaining the ecological balance. However, changes in land use and prolonged droughts have driven these birds further afield in search of food. This has brought them into direct conflict with farmers, as emus often invade farmlands, causing significant damage to crops. The struggle between emus and farmers is a complex issue, highlighting the challenges of coexistence between wildlife and human activities. Wheat was a vital crop for Australia, especially during the Depression. The emus, with their voracious appetites, were decimating the fields. Desperate farmers appealed to the government for help. They argued that the emus were a national pest and demanded action. The government listened. After all, the farmers were a powerful political force. The decision was made to deploy the military. Australia would go to war against emus. Section 4. Enter the Lewis gun. The weapon of choice? The Lewis machine gun, a fearsome weapon of war. This iconic firearm, with its distinctive barrel cooling shroud and top-mounted pan magazine, was a marvel of early 20th century engineering. It could fire hundreds of rounds per minute, making it a formidable force on the battlefield. The rapid-fire capability of the Lewis gun was unmatched at the time. providing a significant advantage in both offensive and defensive operations. Surely, the soldiers thought, this would be enough to decimate the emu hordes. The emus, large flightless birds native to Australia, had become a significant problem, destroying crops and causing havoc for farmers. The soldiers believed that the sheer firepower of the Lewis gun would be more than sufficient to handle the situation. The operation was led by Major Meredith of the 7th Heavy Battery of the Royal Australian Artillery. Major G.P.W. Meredith was a seasoned officer, known for his strategic acumen and leadership skills. He was tasked with leading this unusual military operation against the emus. Under his command were soldiers armed with Lewis guns and a reported 10,000 rounds of ammunition. The soldiers were well prepared, with ample ammunition to sustain a prolonged engagement if necessary. They were determined to protect the farmlands and restore order. The stage was set for a confrontation. The soldiers took their positions, ready to face the emu menace head-on. The air was thick with anticipation as they awaited the arrival of the emus, confident in their strategy and weaponry. This was not just a battle against birds, it was a fight to protect their livelihoods and ensure the survival of their communities. Section 5. The emus fight back. The first encounter was a disaster for the Australians. The emus, upon hearing the gunfire, scattered in all directions. Their unpredictable movements made them difficult to hit. The soldiers used to fighting human enemies were ill-prepared for this kind of warfare. The emus, it seemed, were winning. They continued their raids on the wheat fields. The soldiers, despite their superior firepower, were unable to stop them. Section 6. A humiliating defeat? The war dragged on for several weeks. The soldiers did manage to kill some emus, but they were vastly outnumbered. The operation was widely ridiculed in the press. The Emu War became a national joke. Finally, the government, facing mounting criticism and dwindling public support, called off the operation. The emus, it seemed, had won. Section 7. Lessons learned, or not. The Great Emu War, though a military failure, became a legendary tale, often recounted with a mix of amusement and disbelief. It highlighted the unpredictable nature of nature and the dangers of underestimating even the most unlikely of adversaries. The emus, those feathered veterans of the war, continued to thrive in the Australian outback, a testament to their resilience and a reminder that sometimes nature has a way of winning.